All right, here we go. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr. Really excited to dive into today's show. Niners starters revealed by the team heading into Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to take a look at the unofficial Niners 2025 depth chart with Week 1 coming up right around the corner. Of course, San Francisco traveling up to Seattle to play the Seahawks on Sunday. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily and year-round coverage of the Niners, but also to join us for our watch party. Niners-Seahawks, one of the best rivalries in all of the National Football League, and we'll be live for it right here on this show. So lock us in, hit that sub button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon, turn on your notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, you will be notified. So the 49ers today releasing their unofficial depth chart, and I'm showing you the image here, but I don't want you to take a look at it too long because we're going to go through all of the different starting players and positions on the show here specifically and individually here today. And let's begin in that Niners backfield, so to speak. Brock Purdy going to start at quarterback. Christian McCaffrey is healthy coming off a really good training camp. He'll get the nod at running back. And then Kyle Juszczyk as the fullback coming back after it looked like he was maybe going to leave the Niners this offseason. And for Christian McCaffrey to be healthy, to look like he did in 2023 when he was the Offensive Player of the Year, was top 5 in MVP voting, had more than 2,000 all-purpose yards, is huge. So big for this Niners offense going into 2025. He is the engine of this Niners offense, and he helps in a variety of ways. Running the football between the tackles, outside to the perimeter, catching the football out of the backfield, and as a slot wideout. You can use him as a decoy, but Kyle Shanahan also really trusts him as a blocker. He also makes this Niners offense so much more potent on short yardage and in the red zone. And for him to only play 4 games last year, didn't have a touchdown, looked to be a shell of himself, and to come back healthy going into 2025, it's huge. And hopefully because he's got some mileage on the tires, he's a little bit older, he's missed 10-plus games in 3 of the last 5 years, he can stay healthy this year. Because if he does, I think this Niners offense is once again one of the top overall units in the NFL. Then we flip the page. Obviously, San Francisco has some question marks at the wide receiver spot. There are 2 starters listed right now. Ricky Pearsall, who I think is on the verge of having a breakout year, and then Jauan Jennings. The phantom calf injury, it wasn't a calf injury. He was back at practice yesterday once he found out that Kendrick Bourne was visiting the Niners. San Francisco offered Bourne a deal. He didn't take it. Instead, he's going to the Commanders today, and we'll see if he signs there. But Jauan Jennings caught wind of that, and the Niners also kind of threatened him a little bit. They said, look, if you're not on the practice field getting ready for this Week 1 prep, we'll put you on injured reserve. And then you'll be out for the first 6 weeks of the year. Instead, Jauan Jennings was back at practice. He looked healthy, and that adds a lot to this Niners receiver room. At tight end, George Kittle, still the best overall tight end in the National Football League. But going into Week 1, wide receiver is in a dubious spot. It's at least cloudy, because these are the top 5 wide receivers going into Week 1 to kick off the 2025 NFL season for this Niners offense. You have Ricky Pearsall, Jauan Jennings, and then after that, Russell Gage, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Skyy Moore. The Niners can get by with this as their receiver core to start the year, but you hope this is not the receiver core for the entire duration of the 2025 season. And once they get back a Brandon Ayuk and a DeMarcus Robinson, this room improves drastically. To the trenches along the offensive line, Trent Williams, still one of the top left tackles in the game, even though he just turned 37 in July. He'll start there to protect the blind side of Brock Purdy. At left guard, Ben Bartch, the veteran. Played well last year, but then he got hurt. That's been the book on him. Always gets injured. Jake Brendel gets the start at center. No surprises there. Dominick Puni back at practice this week looking healthy. That's great for his status for this Week 1 tilt. And then Colton McKivitz going into a big contract year, holding it down at right tackle. He improved a lot from 2023 to 2024. Hopefully he takes another leap here in 2025. And specifically here at left guard. You know, the 49ers can't afford injuries along the entire offensive line, right? But left tackle, right tackle is really what I mean there. And at left guard, keep an eye on Connor Colby, to replace Ben Bartch at some point. Colby, the 7th-round pick out of Iowa, had a really good training camp, very solid preseason. He's improved a lot, and it wouldn't surprise me if at some point during the regular season he replaces Bartch just because he's the better player, or if Bartch gets hurt. Another young player to keep an eye on is Drew Moss, the UDFA out of Colorado State. So that's the offensive side of the pill for San Francisco. We'll get to the defense here on the other side, but if you're excited for the return of Niners football, show me. Hit that thumbs up icon and like the video right now. We are only a few days away from the Niners 2025 season getting underway. Our sponsor for today's show, our friends at Prize Picks, the 49ers Report. Yes, indeed, brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, right? But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. It's very simple to play. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 plus states, including California, Texas, and for those of you in Georgia, Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick, safe, and easy deposits into your account this football season. So download the app today. Use the code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. A special looking ahead to week 1, Thursday night. Eagles-Cowboys kicking off the new NFL campaign. Dak Prescott, more than a half passing yard. Elsewhere, let's go Brock Purdy, more than 233.5 passing yards, and Christian McCaffrey, more than 76.5 rushing yards. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. Real money sports action made easy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Claim your $50 today. To the defensive side of the football under new defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. The big boys up front. Mykel Williams at left defensive end. Kalia Davis just returned to practice at left defensive tackle. Jordan Elliott, the veteran, good run stuffer. And I thought in the preseason finale against the Chargers, he looked good. He was very disruptive. He's there at right defensive tackle. And then Nick Bosa, who I think can have a defensive player of the year type of season at right defensive end. Of course, this defensive line highlighted by the rookie in Mykel Williams. There are also 2 other rookie draft picks, CJ West, big number 99, and Alfred Collins at 95, who are going to have an impact on this Niners defense this year. They will get a lot of snaps. They're not starters right now and for now. But by the end of the year, hopefully those 2 guys, Collins, the 2nd-round pick out of Texas, CJ West, the 4th-round pick out of Indiana, can rise up the depth chart and they can become starters, because that would be a great sign for this Niners organization for now in 2025, but also the future of this ball club. Linebacker, 2nd level of the defense, Luke Gifford, primarily up to this point has been a special teams player. Mike, Fred Warner, best off-ball linebacker in the game, and then Dee Winters had a really good training camp in preseason. He can really fly around, which is why I like him at that weak side spot. Who's not pictured there? The rookie 3rd-round pick, Nick Martin out of Oklahoma State. The game just needs to slow down for him a little bit, and he needs to harness some of his aggression. Once he does that, I think that he can be one of the next great Niner linebackers, and he can learn from the best in Fred Warner. To the secondary here, Renardo Green, Deommodore Lenoir, going to hold it down on the outside. Upton Stout, the rookie 3rd-round pick out of Western Kentucky. He might be small, but he doesn't play like it, and he has 4.4 speed. He is there in the slot. He recently returned from injury as he was out for a little while. That's a great sign that he is listed as a starter. Plus, I think he's the best option there. He'll rotate with Chase Lucas, who balled out during the preseason. And then at safety, Jason Pinnock, the vet, Ji'Ayir Brown, a huge year 3 coming up for him. Little bit of a surprise that Marquez Siegel is not listed as a starter. The 5th-round pick out of Kansas State, who transferred to the Wildcats from North Dakota State. What a career for him throughout his college ranks, and what a start to his professional career. He's been getting a lot of the snaps, at first string safety. So I think he could start week 1 against Seattle, but right now the Niners are not anointing the rookie, but he has 4.3 speed. He swarms to the football, and he will hit you like a freight train. And then the specialists here. Thomas Morstead originally got cut, then he signed a 1-year deal. He's this team's punter, needs to punt better than he did in the preseason. That is for sure. Jake Moody, all eyes on him. Going to be a lot of pressure on the former third-round pick. Another rocky preseason for him. And then because Jacob Cowing hurt his hamstring again, Skyy Moore is going to serve as the starting punt returner. He'll also be back there on kick returns alongside Isaac Guerendo. And then the Niners also, like they have a new punter, have a new long snapper in Jon Weeks who replaces Tabor Pepper. So that right now is the Niners' unofficial depth chart and starters going into week 1 against Seattle. Can't wait for it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I have a feeling we are in store for a very exciting year, and I have you covered every step of the way.